Uh, well, over time, I mean, that was like a transformation in itself for me, because earlier on, um, I believed more in the superficial aspect of fitness, and like in the sense of thinking that like the workouts really like had a drastic effect on that person's ability to have success. And yes, of course, they're pieces of the puzzle, but over time, I really learned that it's what matters more of what's going in their head, like how
Mhm.
what their headspace is like, what their mindset is like. Um, so my emphasis over time really became more on the mindset piece and less on the exercise piece, uh, because ultimately if you can't change someone's habits and instill new habits, then that whatever the transformation or whatever the outcome is that they want isn't going to happen. And you can give them all the fancy workouts that you want, it's not going to matter. So that's where it's a combination of kind of meeting them with what they think they want, with what they actually need. So it's you kind of have to
Mhm.
disguise it. Like you have to like lead with like, it sounds terrible, and it's like that's it, with like in the sense of the fitness space, like speaking to women, like, oh, they want a nice butt, like, and stuff like, and it's like that's the kind of terminology you got to use.
Mhm.
Even though it sounds terrible, but that's what draws them in, and that's what they want. But
Mhm.
you got to use that to then give them what they actually need,
Mhm.
and that's the approach that you have to take. And
Mhm.
that's kind of how you like handled it with Lindsay when she came on board with the business. I never told her what to do. I never said like, this is where you're going to be providing value to the business. It was more or less, okay, you're here now. Let's figure out figure out what you want to do, how you're going to contribute to this. And so she had to go through her own self discovery process of like where she fit, with the business, and ended up being like we provided two completely different um, resources to the business, so we never like stepped each other's boundaries, where like I focused more on the business and the back end of things, she focused more on the front end coaching aspect.
Mhm.
um, so we both allowed each other to like, okay, you handle both of those things, we'll collaborate when we need to, but like we each have our own space that we kind of run. So it allowed to work very well. And then just with like the kind of the craziness of the day, I mean, like people think like you're around each other all the time, but you're really not. Like you may be in the same building, but you're not like, it's not like you're like having that actual like physical or emotional connection with that person all day long. I mean, it's just not
Mhm.
happening. So when you are actually able to talk with it, like to talk with your wife or spouse, whatever, at home, it's like it's totally different. Yeah, I just like from over time of running the business, I've learned that me personally, I just love the business side of things, and I love connecting with like people in the fitness industry because they're very heart centered people. But I wasn't so much in love with the actual delivery of the service, like in the sense of like getting people to lose weight and stuff like that. Like over
Mhm.
time, like it just became the business piece became that love for me.
Mhm.
So that's where like we made a decision to walk away from our fitness facility, because it wasn't fulfilling to us, and it just wasn't leading us down the path that at that now 10 years later we knew we needed to be on. So and people thought we were crazy. I mean, it's like, I mean, we're leaving a very profitable business, and walking away from it. But I mean, that's the power of understanding like your purpose and like following your path.
Mhm.
And that's what we did. I mean, because like ultimately, like we said, like your life and like feeling fulfilled, is the most important thing. I can care less, if I have $1 million company that is like destroying my life.
Mhm.